You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, super excited about having my friend Glen on the show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about all things Christmas lights. I know that has been a very popular topic and amongst many different podcasts here around the blogosphere. We did a couple episodes last year, and I wanted to try to get a couple more guys on this year talking about Christmas lights, which I feel like is a huge revenue opportunity. And now, before you guys turn off the podcast, if you don't want to do Christmas lights, that's fine. That's cool. I get it. Here's a quick suggestion. Keep an open mind. You never know what you might learn on the show. And maybe you don't want to do them, but maybe your guys do. Or maybe your guys still want hours. Or you can still get some revenue in for the 6 weeks when it's a little bit slower between now and, Christmas or January 1. By the way, one of my favorite lines is, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So let's keep an open mind. Anytime we're listening to a podcast, don't just turn me off because Christmas lights. If you're like, hey, I'm hardcore not doing them. I think there's a lot of opportunity. And by the way, I know a lot of people listening to the show that are doing Christmas lights, and they're doing more money in Christmas lights than most guys are doing with all their leaf cleanups or all their snow or all their mowing combined. We're talking 6 digits. Okay. So, I'm really excited about hearing more about this because it's making me scratch my head, because this has been a huge takeover in this last 4 or 5 years that I've seen it with people making a killing, doing Christmas lights. So with that lengthy introduction, we got my friend Glen Bradley over here. Glen, I just saw you at LAL, man, a week ago. You can't get enough of me or what, dude? What's going on?
Yeah, kind of. I'll eat you up on the YouTube and Instagram, just trying to gain as much knowledge as I can. So
Yeah. I'm just messing by that. By the way, 10-second debrief. What did you think about LAL? Was it your first time, or have you been before?
No, that was my first time, and it was so much information coming at me. I couldn't write enough notes, and you had Mike Andy throwing everything at you as fast as you could write it down, if not faster. So
yeah, amen to that. Okay, so here's like my one question feedback. Was it worth the $249, or did you think you got scammed?
No, absolutely. Like you said, I think it was worth $249. I was lucky enough that I got in on the early bird. So even better. All right, there you go. All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Christmas lights, man. I want to give you the platform because when we were at LAL, you were talking about the success you're having. So let's kind of slow down really quick. Let's kind of zoom out a little bit on Google Maps here. Give me like the 1 or 2 minute highlight reel. I like to do is let people know like who you are, where you're from, kind of what your business looks like, and then we can kind of get into the specifics. Yeah, absolutely. My business is Maverick Outdoors. We really started out like a YouTube hunting channel, and that just went down in flames. So I already spent the money on the logo and knew how to mow yards. So I just kind of went from there.
Okay, sure. That's awesome.
Started mowing yards. I work for a municipality. The money's not the great, but the retirement's there. So I only get to do this for a couple days a week, and started the first couple of years as just kind of a side hustle. And then I started realizing, this thing could be something. Started getting more and more clients, and started building, an exterior team, like you always talk about. And it just kind of went from there. And then, last year, started a little bit of Christmas light stuff. Didn't do a whole lot. Didn't really market or advertise for it. And then this year it's just blown up. So
wow, that's awesome. So are you doing lawn and landscaping like nights and weekends and on the side of your municipality job, or how many customers are you guys servicing right now?
So right now, on a weekly basis, we're at 33, and then we have a couple of bi-weekly customers that makes us on those weeks it'll be about 42 clients.
Okay, cool. That's a decent sized business outside of working 40 hours for the municipality, brother.
Yeah, so I only get to do my business Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
So I work 4 days a week. I kind of worked it out with them that way I could work 4 days a week, 4 9s, and then take 4 hours of PTO on Fridays, and then the rest of the day off. And then so as soon as I get off of work on Monday through Thursday, go pick up my kiddos, and we go to a jiu-jitsu gym, and we train for 4 hours, and then we come home and hang out with mom for a little bit, and then we go to sleep and do it all over the next day.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, good for you guys. Yeah, dude, that's busy, man. I got to give you credit. The hardest part is the guy who's working 40 hours, 50 hours a week full time, and then another 20, 30 hours trying to make it fit in with nights and weekends. My weekend warrior friends. And so I don't know. You said you got for the retirement. How many more years or time you got left before you can go full time in the business, or is that ever a thought? Have you been considering that by chance?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, I get fully vested in the which is 5 years in our city, in January 24th.
Oh, okay.
It's not a long term. It's not my 20 years where I could retire, but at least I'll be vested and I can leave my retirement in there. So we're going to go full time probably sometime in March 17th. I've got a couple things in the works. If I get one of these HOAs that I've put a bid in on, it'll be March 17th. But if not, then it'll probably look like March 31st when I go full time. Dude,
wow. Okay, so you're talking 2023, so next year.
Yes, sir.
Wow, dude. Well, good for you, man. That's actually awesome. That's a little bit more context. I didn't know that, so that's why I love getting up to speed. Dude, that's really, really cool. By the way, shout out to all of you guys that are like at that pivotable, apparently that's a word I can't say, crossroads of your business and your life. Because, I remember going full time back in 2006 or 7, and that was one of the scariest moments of my life. Just have faith; it'll all work out. Just work your butt off after that. And I always say, make a decision and make it right. And you guys can figure it out. It's not that complicated. Just put 20+% aside for taxes until you can really start dialing that in, and you'll be fine. So, okay. So let's talk about the Christmas light thing, man. Cause some people get it. Some people don't want to hear about it. Some people like it. But I'm telling you what, at the end of the day, it's about making money, brother, and you guys are killing it. I've heard Jeremiah talking about Christmas lights lately. My friend Rory does Christmas lights as well. There's so many people that I know across the country that are getting into Christmas lights. It's turning into a pretty big thing. Locally, I've got a friend of mine named Alex. He's doing 6 digits in Christmas lights and solid margins. I don't know his percentage, but it's not 10%. I'll tell you that. It's 30, 40, 50% type stuff. So Glenn, I'm gonna give you the platform, man. Give these guys the lay of the land. What's going on with Christmas lights? How much can they make? And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, like I was telling you up at LAL, this is my kind of second year going full time in it. And I only get to do it a couple days a week. And well, with LAL last week, and then we've got a charity event that we got to go to tonight and tomorrow that I probably won't get to do any work. So, with that being said, this has been probably my most successful month, even in the lawn care and landscaping business. I've only been able to do it, 2 weekends out of the month. So.
Okay. What's a typical job look like when you guys are talking about getting a Christmas light job? I don't even know how. I know nothing about Christmas lights other than putting them on the peaks. So what are you guys doing for a standard Christmas light job? How much is that?
Yeah, so minimum or average that we have anywhere ranges from about 150 foot to 200 foot, which ranges from about $1,100 to $2,000, depending on the scope of work that they're asking for. And that's just for the roof line and peaks and everything like that. So,
are you for real? $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My average job right now is about 180 feet, and we're $1,600 to $1,700, and we're done with that in a couple of hours.
Okay, that's a mic drop. They say that you're not supposed to have radio silence or dead space in the air, but that was my jaw hitting the ground, and I had to pick it up really quick, guys. So that's insane to me, dude. I've heard this, and I know, bro. I would pay for Christmas lights. Just saying, like when we have our place done, there's a couple buddies of mine that hang Christmas lights locally. I'm not getting on a 30-foot tall, roof or 20-foot tall roof or whatever they are. I am not that guy. I'm not that guy, pal. So if it was $500, $1,000, $1,500, I would literally pay for somebody to do Christmas lights. So that's why I'm intrigued. Like, it's so interesting. As a business owner, I personally don't want to hang Christmas lights. As a customer, I would 100% hire you, Glenn, right now to put Christmas lights on my barn and my house to be in the future. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, some of you guys listening in, you're like, oh, I would never do Christmas lights. I'm like, right. But would you pay somebody to do Christmas lights? Like, yeah. Oh yeah. I pay $450 to have my house lit up. Well, there you go. That's all you need to know is there's an opportunity there, a business opportunity there to make money. And not to get on a whole rant, but I have so many guys reach out, and the most popular video topic to do on YouTube, right? Like I'm in the content mill. I create content. I watch content. The number one thing you're going to see over the next 6 weeks is 5 jobs to do to make more money during the winter. 3 ways to make money in lawn care during the winter. How to keep your income going through winter, which is great. Those are great, helpful tips and videos. And it's always go Uber, go, do leaf cleanups and all this other mess. And it's like, dude, nobody here wants to Uber. Nobody here is going to be able to do leaf cleanups in December, arguably, unless you guys are like that down south. So, maybe keep an open mind that maybe the fund, and by the way, you're going into winter with $5,000 in your winter fund when you want to have $35,000, or you're not doing snow, or maybe you still do snow, but you got time because it's not snowing. Bro, you can go, string up 10 homes in, a week or 2 weeks before the thick of it in, middle of December, and bring in 10 to 15, 20 grand worth of revenue, stringing up Christmas lights, for crying out loud. Like, don't be so prideful. Like, I just, people all the time, they're complaining, I don't know what to do. I don't have any money. My wife's pissed at me. I'm like, well, go out there and work. Like, I heard a guy say once on a podcast, like, the best place to look for help is at the end of your own arm. It's called a hand. Like, go work, go figure something out. So Glenn, talk to me. What's the profitability on this kind of a job? Is it 20%, 50%? What are you guys doing?
Well, so, the commercial grade lights, if you do it right, if you add in all your clips and everything like that, you're probably looking around $2.66 a foot for just materials. And then I've heard of guys charging anywhere from, minimum of $5.50 a foot all the way up to $15 a foot. And, going from there, when it takes you about anywhere from 65 to 80 feet, it takes you about an hour to hang up. That's your man-hour rate and everything like that. You start adding that up, and I'm probably looking around anywhere from 30 to 50% profitability.
Wow. That's so cool. Talk to me a little bit. How did you learn how to do all this? Were you watching YouTube videos? Were you buying I think one guy has a Christmas course. What are you learning and doing? How did you learn how to do all this?
Oh God, I'm gonna have to shovel. I don't even have a snow blower. Nobody to plow me. Oh my God, and the neighbors suck. They don't help. Oh my God, what am I gonna do?
Do you want to keep the cash flowing this winter? Head over to LawnEntrepreneurAcademy.com and check out all of Brian Fullerton's new courses and powerful resources to get you cashing in on that white gold through plowing snow. The Snow Plowing Training Course is easy to understand, and you'll learn what it takes to do the job effectively and how to bid, price, and estimate snow plowing for both residential and commercial properties. LawnEntrepreneurAcademy.com has 3 new resources to take the hassle and guesswork out of securing your snow removal jobs, plus there's eye-catching marketing materials that can help you secure new clients quickly. Ready to crush the snow game this year? Visit LawnEntrepreneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
I went to my mother-in-law's house, and she's like, "Hey, can you hang up my lights?" I said, "Sure, why not?" We hung them up. A couple of years of doing that, I was like, "Man, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple." And then she even had the old icicle lights that nobody likes doing, and I was doing that, and somebody else called me and was like, "Hey, can you hang up my Christmas lights?" To one of my lawn care customers, and I said, "Sure." Not knowing any kind of numbers that way, started doing it, and actually, I was kind of couple of years ago, and then this year I saw on Facebook, I was running down the road and got to my next stop and pulled up Facebook and scrolled down. They had a Christmas light training event at one of our local shops, suppliers, and it was actually on my birthday that they had that. So I ran over there, sat through that for a couple of hours, made an order, and went from there. It's just been, and learning on YouTube and Facebook groups, it's been nothing but nonstop.
Wow. So talk to me about the training. Like, was it at like a central irrigation? Was that a Site One? What? Explain that for me.
Yeah. So it was our local supplier here is just a Gibson's. It's kind of a hardware store.
Okay.
But they were able to give us some contractor pricing through another contractor as well, and actually I got really good friends with the guy that was putting on the training, and talked to him several times, and he kind of helped me out with some pricing and everything like that, and kind of became a mentor of mine. And then kept going from there. Kept in contact with him this year and just done nothing. But he's told me, man, just keep going. And I think you can do about 100 houses this year.
Wow. Holy cow, dude. That's freaking awesome. I'm intrigued. I'll tell you what, I don't know if I want to personally put them up, but, dude, I'll tell you guys straight up, like you got to have that financial incentive. And there's a lot of buddies making a lot of money doing Christmas lights. And I'm like, really? Cause I have a friend of mine, a buddy of mine. His name's Alex, great guy. I'm trying to get him on the show. He's just busy this time of year. He's doing Christmas lights. He does Christmas lights all over Michigan, and he's doing like $150,000 in Christmas lights in like 6-8 weeks. They start putting them up like August, September, and he's like, he got out of snow removal, which is why he bugs me all the time. He's always like, hey, you want to sub out a site? I'm like, sure. Then I'm looking at the prices. I'm like, no. And then it's just funny. There's Mike Bedell listens to the show. He knows the same dude, and because some of his snow pricing wasn't the best, and that's not why he got out of snow to do lights, but nonetheless, he's like, dude, I do Christmas lights for 6 weeks, and now I get to enjoy the winter. And he goes, I charge people to put them up, and he goes, what's even more wild, Brian, is that I get to charge people to take them down, and I'm like, so that's what they do in January and February, and he doesn't do any snow. He doesn't want to do any snow. Doesn't mean you guys don't have to do snow or can't still do snow removal. Don't get me wrong. But it's a great way to keep your guys moving. But my friend Alex, dude, he'll travel up to Charlevoix, Michigan, and he does big light jobs. I mean, like municipality stuff. He's like, there's a private residence, of multi-million dollar homes that he's doing. And he's like, dude, $20,000 light installs all day long. And I'm like, and he's only there for a day or two. And I'm like, are you for real? He's like, dude, all day long. And, so I don't know what's been your feedback so far, Glenn. You've been doing it for going on 2 years now. Hate it, like it, love it. Do you see it growing? What's your thoughts?
Oh, I absolutely love it. Other than getting up on a roof, it's still kind of nerve wracking to me. Some people get up there and walk a 12-12 with bare feet, and I'm kind of got all the safety equipment I can to walk up on that thing. So, and after a buddy of mine, in fact, the mentor that I was talking about. While we were up at LAL, he actually fell off a 2-story roof.
Wow.
He's not going to be able to probably do Christmas lights anymore this year. So he ended up having shattered his wrist, broke his eye socket, and has a brain bleed right now. So
holy cow. Okay, so that's maybe the downside of doing Christmas lights.
Yeah. Well, so honestly, it's probably one of those that you got a little complacent and got a little too comfortable with something that's dangerous, and weren't using all the safety gear.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean that's real life. I mean this stuff happens. So make sure you guys have short-term, long-term disability insurance. Make sure you're charging appropriately so you can make profit, so that you can have 5, 10, 20, 50,000 bucks sitting in your checking account at all times to pad stats. Thoughts and prayers out to that guy. Hopefully that's kind of ended it on a low note, but nonetheless, safety is something that you really got to focus on with doing Christmas lights. Cause I see guys all the time walking roofs with like Nike tennis shoes, no ropes, no tie offs, no the little ledge blocks, whatever they're called.
The pitch hopper.
Hitch hopper, is that what they're called? Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, you've got, what's a steal. Cause I am not going on some, like you said, I don't know the peak, the 12-foot peaks or whatever you're calling them. And dude, there's no way I'm going up on that stuff on a 2-story home. No way. Do you do like the bigger homes like that, the 2-story colonials, or are you like doing the first 1-level ranches only?
So I'll do the 2 stories. It's not as sometimes the 2 stories are actually a little bit safer because they have a little bit flatter roof.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not all the time, but just kind of gets up there, and once you start getting the higher pitches, you just make sure that you have all your safety gear. I wear Cougar Paws. They're the kind of shoe that has the non-slip pad on the bottom of them.
Okay.
And use the pitch hopper and everything else that I can to just make sure that I stay safe and go home to my family at the end of the day.
Pitch hopper. That's what it's called, a pitch hopper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that I'm so real life I'm podcasting in my house, and I'm looking out my window at the apartment complex that I live in, the building across from me, building 23. And dude, there's no way I'm climbing up on those peaks, bro. I'm just telling you straight up. I'm just like, dude, that would freak me out. because I fixed my mom's roof once way back. We did a bunch of roofing shingle and fixing it up because there's a leak in the house, and had a roofer buddy come over. We both knocked it out. This was 15 years ago, and that freaked me out. And I don't know, on a double wide trailer, the roof line is, 14, 16, 18 feet, nothing wild, but you start getting 20, 30 feet up. I don't know. That's a no for me, dog. But I don't want to deter anybody. Like, my comfort level, it is what it is. But you guys listening to the show, whether that heights bothers you or not, that might be something that some of you guys are like, yeah, I'm out, and the other half of you guys are like, I couldn't care less. Get the right safety gear and be smart, and life goes on, business goes on. So that's really, really interesting stuff, man. And I see the money aspect is not why you should get into it necessarily, but it is there. I've seen the numbers people are posting up across the board, and some of you guys listening to the Christmas show, that are listening to the show that do Christmas lights right now are probably fist bumping like, dude, there's a lot of money in it. Like, get me on the show. If you're doing Christmas lights, reach out to me via email. I'd love to get you on, and we'll talk more. Glenn, I don't even know what kind of questions to ask. You're like my second or third Christmas light guest. So give me some other like helpful tips or thoughts that are maybe things you didn't know that you know now that you wish you would have knew getting into it. Do you got anything like that you could help the audience, like just kind of open mic here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So honestly, like I said, we offer kind of a all-inclusive service. When we go up, some people will sell you lights, and next year come back and do it for a quarter of the price that they initially put it up. We offer a seasonal lease on our lights, and so that means we go out there, we install, we do all the maintenance. So if a bulb goes out, we go out there and we replace the bulb, and we take them down and we store them for them the entire next year. It's kind of one of the higher end reasons why we're able to charge as much as we do, is just because it's an all inclusive package to where the client doesn't have to worry about a single thing. They open up their door one morning, all the lights are up. They open up at the end of the season, the lights are down. They don't have to worry about it. They just sign up for the next season.
So do you charge like a one install fee, like $1,500, and then every year after that it's like $300, or how does charging and pricing work? Because I've heard people say like we lease them out, or they rent the lights. Like what? I don't even know what the heck does that mean? I've never heard that in our industry with anything else.
Yeah. So we lease it out, and we charge a little bit more the first season just due to the time it takes to custom cut these lights to these houses. But after that, we knock down about 20%, and we're in and out in half the time as well.
Sure, that's fair.
So we go out there the first season. I mean, I know there's a bunch of people that go out there and pre-bolt the night before. Again, this is my second season, so I'm not 100% sure on how all they do that. But what I do know is that we get out there, we string out our lights, our socketed wire, and me and my buddy, we go out there and we just light everything up and put them up that day, and that way we can make sure that we got a bulb, whichever bulb we need, right at the peak. That way we're not having to change them out. So.
And then the following year, they're already pre-sized, pre-cut for that house. So you have like a tote, and it's like 2134 Johnson Road. Like you already know the client, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right?
Absolutely. Yep. We go out there and we pull their tote, and they have a scheduled day on when it's going to be put up. That's the benefit of us storing the lights for them, is if we pull up and we're ready to install their lights, but they didn't put them out for us, and they went on vacation to Cancun. It's kind of like route density there.
Yeah.
We got to leave and come back, then that just puts a burden on us.
And how many of these can you install in a day? Like a new install versus like a second year kind of customer. Like what's your thought so far on that?
So I've done 3 in a day, but normally that third one is a fairly big job, and it's taken us about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, depending on which one it was. But on a typical, just a basic house, I could probably knock out 4 to 5, maybe even 6, depending on how late we work.
And each one of those is $500, $1,000, $1,500, you're saying, or plus?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dang, son. That's awesome. And this is all, when do you guys start the season? When do you guys start putting them out normally?
So we start in October. We kind of offer a early bird discount in October and try and get as much as we can knocked out before the Halloween season. and because November 1st is whenever it really kicks off, and then you hit it into overdrive whenever the day after Thanksgiving. People really start thinking about Christmas. Especially new installers, that's about the best time that they get in, is just because right after Thanksgiving, the majority of people who've been installing are completely booked up through the Christmas season.
Oh yeah,
the new installers get their new customers the day after Thanksgiving, and they book up quick too. So,
bro, that's wild. Like it's wild listening to you explain this, because I've heard a couple of Christmas light podcasts, and I've seen your excitement. Like, dude, when somebody's like giddy and excitement, like they're making money. Okay, folks, like you can just tell, like, you get around people who are excited about life, it's because they're wealthy and they're making money. And I'm just telling you straight up, that's what I've noticed. Like the people who are down in the doldrums, like they don't get their money right. And I'm not saying money is happiness and happiness is money, blah, blah, blah. Although we all can, everybody will rebuttal and say, well, if you're not happy in life and you're rich, it's just because you don't know the right things to buy. Ha, ha, ha. But I digress. But Glenn, you're making money, dude. Like, this is a profitable venture, a profitable endeavor for you. You're making money doing this, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's probably the most money I've ever made, other than, it's probably the most money I've ever made.
That's all you need to know, dude. That's wild. One other quick thing here that I wanted to interject is, maybe you guys are just getting started on this. I know there's a couple people that are they're hustling Christmas training programs, which is awesome. I don't have anything like that for you guys, but one thing I will say, if you guys need Christmas postcards, this is something that I did not anticipate having such a huge request for. Was when we partnered up with Postcard Mania. A lot of you guys just saw them this last weekend at Entrepreneur Academy. The girl Samantha is our account manager, and she's got a team of 4 or 5 girls that handle all of your inbound calls and requests. I think this year alone, guys, there's like 1,500 of y'all that reached out to Postcard Mania for postcard designs and EDDM and Business Select, the mailing of the postcards. Well, long story short, 2 years ago, when I was designing these postcards, which you guys can go to launchpreneuracademy.com, you buy the postcard template for $75. It is not editable, but you can still take it to Vistaprint. They can resize it for $5 in your virtual office. Then you can slap your name and logo on the back if you want to, and then get them printed up. If you buy the postcard design, take it to Samantha. When you buy the course, her contact info and her team's info is all there. It's postcardmania.com/Brian if you want to snoop around and check out the budgets and the bundles and the pricing, I should say. You take that postcard design to them that you bought for $75, and they can edit it for free to, quote unquote, earn the print business. And there's hundreds of you guys that have picked those up. Number one, thanks for the support. And then number two, 2 years ago, I had dropped, the 4 core designs, spring, summer, fall, winter. Then we added another half dozen auxiliary services, like a dethatching postcard, overseeding postcard, hedge pruning postcard, irrigation postcard. And then I had a couple people reach out, and they wanted a hardscaping postcard, a Christmas light postcard, even more services. And I was like, Christmas lights? And this is 2-3 years ago, Glenn. And I'm like, Christmas lights? And I was scratching my head, but I was like, okay, sure. It cost me many hundreds of dollars to get these designs made up. So I'm hoping to obviously sell a few to break even and then, quote unquote, make profit. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop, several hundreds of dollars to get this design made up, to then hopefully offer to sell it. It's still a business. And it's I'm like, I hope I sell a couple of these. And we've sold quite a few Christmas postcard design postcards. They're really, really good. So I don't even do Christmas lights, but the feedback that I get, and I've seen them sell on the website, and I just never would have thought about it. But that's my point. There's so many more people getting into Christmas lights. And so if you're like, hey, you're buying a course and they offer something like that, cool. If you guys are just branching off of this, and dude, even if we're shooting this podcast mid-November, you can still buy the postcard, take it to Postcard Mania. They can edit anything you want or customize it for you. You shouldn't have to. That's the idea of the design. They're really, 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 really good. You could get them printed and shipped out in a mailing campaign in a week. You can listen to this podcast on a Monday and have this stuff out the door by Friday, and you could be installing Christmas lights the week after. It's not too late in the season. And maybe this is the season where you dip your big toe in, and then you really get your guns a-blazing, for 2023. I mean, Glenn, that was kind of your story getting into this.
Absolutely, yeah. That's kind of how it went with me. I mean, we didn't actually start the last season until the week after Thanksgiving, actually.
Oh, okay.
And somebody just asked us, "Hey, do you want to put up Christmas lights?" And we just kind of went from there. So
right. I mean, so what I'm saying is exactly what you're doing, and you're now the second year into this, making great money, great prospects of the future with it, and who knows where 2023 and 2024 are going to go. Now that you're getting your bearings and you're getting more comfortable, more familiar. I mean, now you can really start ratcheting up the profitability of all this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what our goal was this year. Was just kind of we started actually marketing. Last year we didn't market, and this year we marketed and advertised for it, and we kind of blew up with it. And I think we could have dumped a little bit more money into the advertisement and gone even further than what we did.
Man, that's awesome. That's seriously awesome. Guys, UZ Marketing, another great one. We do have a code, Brian, I think it is. Somebody told me for UZ Marketing. It's the 100-yard signs for like $100. It's usually about $2 to $3 when you add the stakes and like one or two colors or whatever. But we'll leave a link in the description of the podcast. Go to UZ Marketing. That's my go-to for all of our yard signs. But you guys can get Christmas light yard signs as well. And I'm telling you, like, dude, there's a lot of money to be made in this stuff. And one quick comment I'll leave, probably last thought I have is, for all of you guys living in subdivision America, Metro Detroit, Michigan, it's all subdivisions, bro. And people, I remember Julio Tomei or I don't know, somebody was talking about like leaves. Like, you wouldn't pay for a leaf cleanup maybe because we all do what we do. But to the high-end, dual-income, crispy couple that has a 3-2 colonial $400,000 subdivision home that so many of us are doing work in, like, bro, if a leaf touches their property, they freak out. Like, $400 or $500 for a leaf cleanup, they don't care. They'll pay it. They want their lawn looking nice. Fantastic. Guys, I'm telling you, it's the same opportunity with Christmas lights. Like, dual-income, subdivision America, okay, like, these people will pay $300, $500, $800, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. I'm not trying to cheap it. I'm just saying they will pay $750 to $1,000 to get Christmas lights up to be like the fun, cool Christmas light home in the subdivision. I would pay right now $1,000 to have somebody put Christmas lights up in my house. I wouldn't even think twice. When we have our future home, I told Liz, somebody's putting Christmas lights up on our house. I ain't going up there. Number one. Number two, I want to have cool Christmas lights. And so keep an open mind. And if you're in subdivision America, and like you said, Glenn, you can do 3, 4, 5 jobs a day with one guy or a 2-man team. And some of you guys got 10, 15 people you're trying to keep busy for 6, 8 weeks in the winter once the leaves are, frozen to the ground or leaf cleanups are done and it's not snowing and you're not plowing. Hello, consider Christmas lights. That's 6 weeks of fall to put them up. Another 2-3 weeks to take them all down. Maybe you got to bridge the gap for another month in February where it's kind of a lull. And then March, you're kind of back out there and able to start doing cleanups and kind of get the season going again. So great opportunity to make money with Christmas lights. That's what I'm getting. That's the feedback that's been out there. So Glenn, I'll kick it back over to you, man. Any final thoughts or piece of advice or where are you buying the Christmas lights, by the way? That was something that I had a question earlier.
Yeah, so our local supplier, we can get it from either Ewing Irrigation or my local supplier. I can just right here in our town in Weatherford is Gibson's. But other than that, Murphy Christmas Lighting, Christmas light contractors online, you can get them from there as well. So.
Okay. Well, dude, that's good stuff, man. I know Ewing. They've reached out. They wanted to sponsor some stuff, and I just didn't have any bandwidth. I'm like, I'll circle back. So that's good to know. Maybe we'll reach out to them. Be like, hey, I heard you sell Christmas lights. Let's do some sponsorships on the podcast because we got to pay the bills around here, man. It's not cheap to produce the show. So the Christmas special, the Christmas money, the Christmas bonus goes to Mr. Producer this year. For anybody's wondering, send him a gift card because. Talking about appreciation, he's the one that's putting the show together, truthfully, behind the scenes. So, all right. Well, Glenn, I got to shift gears because I got to get running here. I got a hard cutoff here at 10:30. We're coming up right at that. This has been, dude, really, really insightful. I really appreciate you taking time this morning. You're actually a very, very busy dude. You've got a lot going on with family and life and business. So I really appreciate you opening up a window this morning. I was like, hey, dude, I really don't have time Saturday morning. You're like, I'll make it work for you, Brian. I really appreciate that. So I don't want to take it for granted that you're on the show as well, man. So thank you so much for pouring into these guys this morning.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, really quick, let's button up. Where can people find you, man? And we'll kind of finish it up.
I've got, like I said, I've got a small YouTube channel, Maverick Outdoors. Has a duck and deer antler and a fish as a logo. Maverick Outdoors Lawn on Instagram and Facebook as well.
All right, so Maverick Outdoors. We'll try to leave a link in the description for that as well. And if you guys have questions, man, reach out to Glen here. He can definitely help you out. I know Jeremiah Jennings on the Growing Green podcast. He's been talking Christmas lights a lot lately. He's got a newborn baby. He has to make more money. That's a fact. So it's so I think that's why he's getting the Christmas lights. Just having fun. But no, seriously, Glen, thank you so much for listening to the or sharing with these guys on the show and pouring into them about Christmas lights today, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome, brother. All right, guys. We will button up right there. We got Glen from Maverick Outdoors, and he came out to LAL. He said it was worth it. So when we had those tickets go on sale for 2023, by the way, make sure you guys check that out, our live event in November. And then also, launchpreneuracademy.com/store. Go scroll all the way to the bottom. That's all the postcard designs. Check those out as well. Maybe you guys want Christmas light ones. Fantastic. But if you guys need some great spring, summer, fall, and winter postcard designs, and you want to get them all printed up at Postcard Mania, so many great success stories from people investing into marketing and advertising with those guys and helping you guys really get your marketing figured out over winter for the following spring of 2023. Check him out at postcardmedia.com/Brian while I got you. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Hey, just so you guys know, it's all about Lawns Lessons Life, helping you guys grow a more successful lawn and landscaping business. We drop a new show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. So if you guys enjoy what you're listening to, check back here in another day or two. We'll have another episode for you guys as well. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Marty here with one more reminder before we wrap everything up, and that is about the Black Friday sales that are coming to LaunchpreneurAcademy.com. Yes, our biggest, baddest, best sales of the year over that weekend of Black Friday through Cyber Monday. Make a little note on your phone, set a reminder to check out LaunchpreneurAcademy.com for big savings.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.